Gordon, I got another question for you. Because in the training, many times you want students to listen to the gong they play. And when we ask them, are you listening? They always say, yes, I'm listening. But, things they don't know what they have to listen. So can you tell us, as a sound therapist, gong player, very basic rule is listen to the sound they create, but what they should listen.
Yeah. Eileen, this is
before that. Before that, please subscribe our YouTube channel and press all the notification and give us a thumbs up. Every week we got new video for you. Yes.
This is an issue.
Listening.
This is an issue that I feel really strongly about. Actually, I mean, it really is for me a key thing which stops students progressing. It really does, and I see it a lot. And not only do I see it a lot when I'm out and about listening to gong players and training students, but also you can watch YouTube and see gong players play, and you thinking, are they really hearing what they're doing? And it's the problem is this. Let's just 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the one? The one is there's a big issue here, and it's a big. Let's set the problem.
Issue is that, say my ears problem.
Apart from deaf people, or people who are hard of hearing, everybody can hear. Yeah. And we've spent our lifetimes listening, supposedly listening and hearing to things. So what's the problem? Yeah. That's what students really. We need to get across this barrier that actually, no, you do not. You may be able to hear.
You're wrong, I'm listening.
You may be able to hear, and you may think you're listening, but what we're talking about here, I think, is a kind of a focused listening. We've got to create more focus to our listening.
But when they play the gong, of course they hear the gong. Of course they listen to the gong. Yes, of course. They are not deaf.
Well, yeah. So as I say, it's taking your hearing up several levels, developing this word in English. I'm sure there's a Chinese equivalent, acuity of hearing. Acuity. What does acuity mean? It means it's getting better. Your hearing is getting more acute. You can hear more than you could before. Now, one thing that I'm no spring chicken now. I mean, as I've got older, my hearing is supposed to have got worse. And if you tested it, maybe you'd find that I couldn't hear such high frequencies as before. But I think that because I've developed a very acute hearing, then actually I feel as though my ability to hear what's happening around me and what I'm doing has improved.
So that means that if no matter singing bowl player or gong player or tuning fork player, they listen the instrument they play, and of course they can listen, they can hear it, and they listen the subtleties, right?
Yes, yes. And I think there's a difference between these different instruments. I think it's more challenging with gongs because the sound is that much more complex and thick and full. And I think this is the thing. And the actual dynamic range and the frequency range of gongs, from very low sound to very high harmonics that a gong will create, and also very quiet sounds, very, very loud. So we've got this enormous range of potential with the gong, and we've got to develop our hearing sense to cope with that, I think, as players. And that's the thing. And that's the problem as I see it. It's holding people back because they're not hearing with sufficient acuity. We've got this, let's make a distinction between hearing and listening as well. Hearing is sort of like a passive thing. We hear a motorbike going by. Now, we haven't got a choice. I suppose we can block our ears off, but it's still, if it's noisy, we're still going to hear it. Listening is more active. So what we're talking about here is the listening, developing a focused listening. Okay, so I've got a few ideas for exercises that are kind of fun to do anyway, that you might like to consider doing.
Yes. Exercise 1.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure how I'm run out of ideas, but there's 2 really lovely ones to do. And the first one, we've started offering in training anyway, and it's very, very simple, but it's very rewarding actually. And you can do this. The other thing about this exercise, try it in different locations. Try it in your home. Go for a walk in the park. Try it on a blustery day, in the morning, in the evening, how it differs.
Yes.
Okay, that's the first thing.
Exercise
so what is
1.
It? Close your eyes.
Close eyes.
As I say, it can be anywhere. You can do this anywhere. You can do it on the metro. You can do it in your home. You can do it while you're walking through the woods.
Okay.
Close your eyes. Take a deep breath or 2, just so that you kind of are centered and you're getting yourself ready for this exercise. So that's the thing. And actually be aware of your breath, because this is a listening exercise, and your breath itself is a sound. Okay.
Yes.
And this is relevant actually, because what we're going to do is we're going to start by listening, rather tailoring our listening, focusing our listening on the sounds that are the very nearest to us.
Maybe my breath, or maybe my heartbeat.
Absolutely. This is the thing. As I say, we particularly if we're in a fairly quiet environment, if you're in a busy, noisy metro, then you're not perhaps going to be aware of your heartbeat.
So
but
the
anyway,
the first exercise 1 is near you, near your body.
Listen. And then gradually move your awareness of your listening further out a little bit. So maybe this will go from sounds that you can hear in your body to in the room that you're in. Maybe you've got a clock ticking. Maybe your partner's got a radio going in the back room.
Maybe in the metro.
Exactly.
I mean, subway,
whatever. I mean, there's innumerable things. Here we have the birds singing out immediately out, and the next step would be immediately outside the space you're in. So for us, we always have the birds singing. That would be the next one, or the leaves rustling in the trees. So it's this awareness, focusing your awareness on the next, and then further out and further out and further out. So this can take, you don't have to do this quickly. You can do it, have enough time to be able to develop the exercise until you focus your listening on the sound that's as far. What's the furthest away sound that you can hear?
Okay. And they stay there?
And they stay there for a while. Okay. Because the point about this is that your hearing becomes more acute when you're listening, but the sound that's the furthest away, well, you'll become aware actually the sounds that you didn't realize were there to start with. And sounds that fade in and out. Like one example would be, we live near quite a busy road. A motorbike goes past us, and so it's quite near, and then it's noisy. And so we're going to hear it no matter what. But then as it goes in the distance, it's still noisy, but it fades away. And so following it as it becomes from really close to us and noisy, so how far before we can't hear it at all? I'm really allow your ears to follow it. And it sounds simplistic, but it does improve you. It really does allow you to focus your listening in a new way.
Like now my child is wrestling outside. So can you hear it in the video? Yes. So
just about. But I tell you what, it's also quite a windy day now, and because we're doing a video, we shut the doors. So we can't hear the trees rustling. So that's the first exercise.
Yes. Good. And the second
exercise. Now this is one you don't know about. I haven't discussed this one with you at all.
Yes.
But it's also really valuable. Now I've spent a lot of my time in my life as a musician and a gong player, recording, mixing and producing music and gong CDs and all sorts. And I've spent a lot of time developing my focus listening to do that job.
So what's your point?
One of the things that you do when you're doing that, that you have to do that, that people who aren't doing that job can do with their favourite music, right? Put on a piece of music that, first of all, you're familiar with, And start listening to it in a new way.
In any device, the headphone or
however you normally listen to music, and take whatever and whatever kind of music it is. Perhaps you like classical music. Perhaps you like string quartets. Let's use two. I'm going to use two examples. Perhaps you like string quartets. What's a string quartet? 2 cellos, 1 violin, and a cello. Sorry, 2 violins, one cello and a double bass or something like right, and a jazz group, a saxophone player, double bass, piano, drummer. Those are going to be the 2 examples. Maybe you've got others, but those are the 2.
So what's your point?
Right. So with a favourite piece of music that's being played by a string quartet, instead of listening to the entirety of the piece, focus your listening on one of the instruments.
Oh, yeah, I did this before, One instrument.
So let's say you're listening to the string quartet, and actually, very often, your attention is caught a lot of the time by the people that are playing the top line, very often the violins. Listen to the double bass. What is that doing? Or the cello? And
one
follow
instrument
the
at
line.
a time.
Just and try and focus your listening on that and that alone. And then when you listen to the entire piece, just doing that. So it's like a discipline. Because you're listening to it in a...
That had to be
you're listening
very
to a familiar piece of music.
Not only the
but in a new
training,
way.
also focus training.
Do that with one instrument. Go to the beginning of the music again and do it with another instrument. Right? In the same piece. Same. And then, same genre, let's say, string quartets. Play a piece of music that you're not familiar with and do the same exercise and see how different it is. That's with the jazz group.
Same thing,
Same thing, but you've got even more opportunity to listen to one. Listen to, start with the double bass player, right? And because the saxophone player will be the standout. That's the line that you're following. Listen, just focus on the double bass, and
this
then
is more focused
really tricky here. Really tricky. Now, just listen to one element that the drummer's playing, the ride cymbal or the snare drum.
Wow,
and that's
tricky.
all.
That's very tricky.
Nothing else. In other words, the drummer is playing all these different instruments in his drum set. Just the snare drum. You're just focusing on nothing else.
I'm confused because this is focus exercise. And listen, I can listen the double bass always through and be very focused. But can we improve our
this will have
focus?
This will have benefits for you may think that this does the
implement to singing bowl.
You may not think that this will have any beneficial impacts on your ability to play your gong better or your singing bowl practice improve. But I'm telling you, we'll try it and see, because in my experience, which has been very long and varied, working with these things over decades, I'm telling you, it is. And you'll find them that it's transferable. And have a thought. I think the point about this is that put yourself in the same state of mind when you're standing in front of your gongs or with your singing bowls that you were in when you were doing these exercises. So it's in this focused listening frame of mind. And I think, well, let's see. And perhaps we can get some feedback and say, Gordon, you're talking a load of rubbish. I don't think it's right. Or yes, it did. Yes or no?
Please feedback down
Let us know.
down there on the YouTube channel, so we can know if you are really into this exercise or you have another idea. Yes.
Oh yeah, and some other ideas for exercises. I'm always in the market for new ideas for listening exercises.
Very good. You gave us a 2 exercise today, and I hope you enjoy our video, and we see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.